This is Impression, a first-of-its-kind trailer music album by the String Revolution and Sotie Music. Hi, this is Miray, the founder of Sotie Music, and today I'm here with the Grammy-winning guitar trio, the String Revolution, and we're very excited because we're going to talk about our upcoming trailer album, Impression, for the Sotie Originals catalog. Their very creative guitar playing and amazing talent combined with our great trailer composers have created something truly unique, and I can't wait to dive into it. And before we start, let me introduce them. Robert Lewis, Janet Robin, Marcus Ilko. This has been a very, very exciting project for me from the start. The first question is, how did it feel when I first proposed, you stepping into the trailer music world with an album like this? Because you've never done something like this before, and this hasn't been done in the trailer world either. So this is a first.
When you approached us, I thought, yeah. Maybe it should have happened earlier. I don't know. Things happen in their own time, but we are an instrumental guitar band, so you don't hear a lot of guitar specific stuff in trailers or even in soundtracks for that matter. So I just thought it was an amazing idea to have our sound mixed with composers that work specifically in the trailer world. I just thought, everything about creativity is mixing things together. That's when you come up with a new thing, a new sound.
Miray, I think I was waiting for that call long time.
Yeah?
Yeah, I expressed my interest in making some music for film score on TV with Janet. When I met Janet, and suddenly I received this call from Janet and said, hey, there's this girl, Miray, that wants to talk about this project, bring the guitars to the big screen, in the soundtracking world, and that's something that I always been interested.
You've already worked in different styles and in different places, including TV as well. So this is a little more familiar to you, probably. But what were you thinking?
It was a little bit. So I used to work a lot I did a lot of sound design back in the days for movies here in the US, and also the scores for
Then you do the Olympics.
The Olympic Games. Yeah, I did that stuff. I loved it, but I always avoided to use the guitar because it's so specific. But when you approached us, because we have a specific way of playing, which is we try to be very different from other things. So when you approached us, and I was like, oh, okay, that will be interesting. And the more we went into it, it was like, holy f***. I probably can't say holy f***, but I really enjoy saying that because it's really, really nice. We go to in places where normally you would go. So it's probably we try to do something different, right? So you have this neoclassical with, of course, a lot of cello, right? But with the guitars, nobody knows where can it go to, and so for us, was the same thing, and it was like, oh, that's actually it's good, right? So because we all come from different styles. Robert comes from Cuba. He has all Latin stuff. Janet comes from rock. I come from classic and fingerstyle stuff a little bit. So it's completely different. And so when we get together with the composers, it was just so much fun, And so we're really, really proud of the result.
I'm very proud of the result too, and we started this as a neoclassical project in mind, because I was trying to look for something different for the trailer world, and then I listened to everything, and everything was sounding pretty much the same. Amazing stuff out there, but still, it's just around the same ideas. And I was like, how can we make it different? And when we started with neoclassical, it really turned into a whole experimentation of different styles, just organically that happened. So there is neoclassical, but there's also other stuff in Impression. So how was it collaborating and seeing those cues transform to something different, like the difficulties and the fun parts? Anything you want to share about that?
Yeah, we're not. No, we're not.
No.
I gave him all the hard parts.
First, you have to work like kind of an image. Usually, the composers give you like a maybe the vision. Thank you. The vision of the what is gonna be, or what the music is gonna be orientated on certain like scenes of music, or in the movies. You just have to be ready. You need to have like a special set of tools, like a special set of skills in order to achieve that, in order to get that, because it's just you never know what's gonna happen. You have you came to the studio with an idea in your mind. Maybe that idea may work, or maybe not, and suddenly some people like really stuck in the first idea, and then when they say, "Can you do something like different?" They are like, "Oh, okay, I don't have a plan B. I really thought this idea could be the best." Sometimes you're right, sometimes you're wrong. Sometimes you need to like act fast, bring solutions, in working with everybody, and just bring the music alive. For me, that's a big challenge.
Yeah.
Like, make the team work, get the results that the producer or the composers wanted, from me.
I think that in the process of like there were skeletons, that the composers brought to us, and for sure there were specific things that were needed in the trailer, but the fact that they also said, do the string revolution sound, or do your thing, put it in there. That was great, because when you feel a little less restrictions, beautiful things happen. And the combination of having, some of those rules within what a trailer should sound like, but something new that is like, whoa, what's that? A pick slide, or, something like that. Just really like the fact that the composers were so open to us putting our sound in there and combining it to make something new, Once again, when you stay open and you have that creative process, you can really sometimes invent an entire new genre.
Yeah, as Janet already said, the approach was different normally. Like how normally many trailers I know are written by one person, and then they contracted other people, right? Which is sometimes it's great, it works, but this is different. So we started from one point and went a completely different way. So what the result is, we get sounds you would not otherwise get, because we are three guitar players. We play very, very specifically, in a way a non-guitar player would not come up with, And also the things when you listen to the soundtrack, then you will hear is we created all those sound effects from scratch, right? So we had a drumstick and we're hitting the strings with it, So you get the sounds you would normally not hear. So it's very, very original from beginning on to the very end. And it will sound very, very different. And I think that's an incredible asset and something I'm really, really proud of.
All right, so my next question is, you guys all come from very different backgrounds and you have very unique playing styles. So in addition to the very skillful playing, that combination makes the sound of the String Revolution, which really attracted me. But you usually play live shows and do records and play whole songs, and this is a completely different project. What was the fun, different, cool stuff you tried out and did for this album?
First of all, there were lots of different fun things. I mean, I mentioned one before, right, with the stick on the guitar strings, also where we detuned the strings, and then we just very, very low went through an amp, preamp, went through a feedback signal, so it's like completely changed the signal, and then you slowly plug it and then go up. So these were some of the things, and then a couple of different elements we put together. There's something I remember right now. Anything you remember, Jan?
We are very different players from each other, and in essence, we stuck to that sound. As far as you played mostly nylon string, we played steel string. And once again, these are all acoustic instruments, right? We can all play electric, of course, but even having the acoustic guitar sound with trailer arrangements and stuff is quite different. I liked the specificness of the melodies being there and adding color on top of perhaps the composer's melody idea, and then there would be a hole for us to put in another melody idea, and we were just layering and doing the things that we do, sometimes harmonies, sometimes counter melodies, syncopated things. We do that in our own composing for full songs, but once again, it's a trailer, so there's a snapshot, and we have a limited amount of time to create that energy in the trailer. So personally, I like that direction because it's so specific. And I felt like, we tackled these things quite fast, because usually when we're composing our originals or even rearranging a cover, it's a long process of chips and salsa and wine and beer, and several nights of getting together. And so sometimes it helps to have this specific vision, but still leave room for unique sound design effects with the guitar. I remember Robert, we were using a tiny little hammer like you would see in a hammered dulcimer.
Boat.
Yeah, it was like a little tiny boat, like a little dulcimer hammer, and we were just banging it against the neck of the guitar, and it was cool sounding.
I think there's no rules in order to get your sound. You just want to sound your head, you're gonna get it no matter what.
Yeah.
And you're gonna put your minds and your hands to work on that. Pretty much the goal, the achievement is like create something that evoke emotions in certain scene, or evoke emotions in the director. Say, I want that music in this scene, I want that music for the trailer. Or it could be the opposite. I have this scene, I am trying to find, I will listen to these guys to see if they can give me something that I need, that the movie needs. That's the beauty of that job.
I'm one of the people who don't give a lot of directions, as you guys know. Like, I don't like sending references, because I feel like you said, Robert, I think it's really about everyone is at the end of the day with whatever they're using, trying to find that emotion that's going to touch the audience. So what I like to think about is, what types of movies, what types of emotions are we trying to create, and kind of just go crazy around it, and with trailers it's fun because you can do, not using the guitars just for melodies, but for, rhythms and for sound design and for everything. It just became really cool putting those on top of each other, and then the trailer composers really lifting it up with the whole, trailerization. We're already doing a sound design collection with you. We have a lot more coming up. Hopefully we will collaborate more times, but I know more hitting your guitars with different stuff, don't break your guitars. But this was a really fun project. The last thing I want to ask is, what do you want the trailer music supervisors and the editors to take out when they listen to this album for the first time? What do you think their first thought or reaction will be? I mean, I think it's going to be great.
I think they're going to love it. It might feel like taking a chance on something new, but that's all can be always a good thing. I'm missing guitar in trailers. I'm missing guitar in soundtracks in general. It gives an organic sound, an organic feeling. You can still trailerize it and put strings and cellos and things all over it. Mixing, matching, experimenting. That's the name of the game.
As you said, it transports a lot of emotions, right? Very, very specific emotions, which sometimes, with sounds you hear, like all the other trailers, we heard everything, So if you have something completely different, our hope, of course, is if someone listens to it, is like, oh, I didn't even know I can feel that with trailer music. So I think if they come out, that would be fantastic.
Thank you so much for being here. Is there any last words about Impression?
We are super excited for it to come out. So, yeah, so we're looking forward to that.
Yep. We can't wait for you to listen to it. It's really unique, and we're really excited.
Y gracias por escuchar nuestra música. Espero que les guste.
Thank you so much for watching.